5 good minutes in the clubhouse.
And tonight we're pleased to have on the line David Couzner, the CEO of Woodville West Torrens. Man, I've got enormous respect for. Has been heavily involved in coaching the South Australian side Inclusive League, also involved with Woodville West Torrens and with wheelchair footy in general. So he sees the whole picture. A man of many hats. Welcome aboard, David.
Thanks very much, Malcolm. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Let's start off with Woodville West Torrens at the moment. Absolutely flying. Your two big recruits, Sammy Jacobs and Redden, holding the club up at the moment.
They're doing a great job too, Ruckman. Really happy with how the guys are going. They've managed to bond quite well over the pre-season. It's always challenging when you get a new coach coming in of how the dynamics are going to work out. But Sauce is an amazing individual, and we're extremely lucky that he applied for the job and got the job. So we're very happy with how he's got everything running.
Bit of irony that spoke to you several times, you and Luke Powell, when you were out and about with your recruiting drives last year and trying to get out of how you were going, and you were replying back very firmly, no, we don't give that out to Nord people. And amusingly, though, with Jared Redden arriving, managing to get him back, and he looks $1 million. He looks fitter than what he's probably ever been.
Yeah, I think that's a real credit to Reddo. I think obviously every club, not just the Eagles, we all struggle with finding big men that can stay intact for a long period of time. Obviously, it's a genetic thing. When they're bigger, they're prone to more injuries. But Reddo was quite a good one. It was a quick phone call that Sauce, Matthew Goldsworthy, our footy operations manager, and myself, we were sat down and spoke about it, and we just thought we'd throw it out to Reddo. And I think within about 5 minutes, Reddo was on board. He was, I think it's one of those things, he's probably been waiting to come back. But he is in extreme, his condition's fantastic at the moment. He's got a lawn mowing round, a Mr. Clip lawn mowing round, and he's probably, I would say, close to 15 kilos lighter.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Finished up.
Standing next to him last Sunday night afterwards, hanging around at Woodville last Sunday night, and I've looked and thought, geez, he's easily the lightest. And I'm sitting there thinking, I wish he'd done that, because he's a mile better player than Riley O'Brien is, and he looks in fantastic condition at the moment. And I'm sure there's the what ifs, but yeah, that body, that bit of the year off with the not having the grind and the bash and crash, and he looks fantastic, and is a huge recruit for you guys.
Oh, exactly right. No, I'm pretty biased, but I would say he's probably the number one the ruckman going around in the competition, and he just the ability that he's got a young family. They've just had a new baby. Reddo's just in a really good place, and he does bring something extra to the club when he's around. So no, we were absolutely over the moon when he accepted to come back in.
Oh, it'll be fantastic, Jill, with him and Harry Boyd, because that's certainly the two best. And yeah, he looks and further going on with what's happening at Woodville West Torrens, a big build at the moment, mate. How's all that taking shape, etc.?
Yeah, so we finished the Barry Jarman grandstand change rooms have all been finished now. So that was a $1.6 million build or refurbishment we would call it, where we've updated the change rooms and given the guys and the girls the ability to probably operate out of a professional environment. Prior to that, we had the old shower pole with the 8 shower heads on it, and we were expecting the young ladies and the men and all that to be able to operate out of those facilities, which is just unreasonable in today's state league sporting environment. So for us, we were really committed to getting that going. We're now onto our second project, which is the Percy Fox grandstand. So the away change rooms will be transformed into more female-friendly, child-safe environments. That'll start just after July. So the away team will be treated no different to the home team, which I think is most clubs' ambitions these days, is to get everybody on equal footing in that sense.
Yeah, I think gone are the days of, have the opposition change in that little doghouse and make sure that there were cold showers. And, I think we've moved past those days.
Yep.
So go through. So now you started recently become the CEO, David. How's that transition into, moving from what you were doing work-wise and running your business there into being CEO, mate?
Yeah, no, it's been a really good transition. I mean, I was at the club. I've been at the club for 9 years in a board position. So I held the football portfolios, community engagement, government liaison portfolios at the club, and as a volunteer director. And to be able to have the opportunity to come in as a CEO and actually work full time in footy has been, for me, it's the ultimate job, and I've enjoyed it so far. We've been able to have a really good first 9 months in the role, where we've been able to make some significant changes at the club within the aesthetics of it and the management. And there wasn't anything broken at the Eagles, which was fantastic. Luke Power did an amazing job, and Christine Williams amazing jobs prior. So I've been able to just come in and build on what's already been there. But in a full time capacity, it's just it's the ideal job for me.
Oh, and Christine's a fantastic, very quiet, very efficient person, always, and not afraid to do anything like run the water and help out in the reserves game, and very much down to earth and do anything. A lot of time for Christine and Sue doing, and that they see the whole picture very well.
Oh, I think that's right. I think you've got your Christines, you've got your Emmas from Emma and Connie from down at West Adelaide, you have Sue Dewings, people like that. The work those guys put in, and whether you're a CEO, you work for next to nothing, because it is a 7-day-a-week job at a football club, and it's all hours of the day where you're engaged. But the volunteers of your Christine Williamses, your Emmas, people like that, they're the ones that when Christine's running water and that's done as a volunteer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's done as somebody that's giving their time to the game, because getting volunteers these days is getting harder in all codes, not just SANFL footy, but we really got to appreciate people like Christine and that just give their time freely.
And in that, exactly, Christine, Sue, yourself, always there at wheelchair footy too. It's something, it's a passion of mine as well, the whole wheelchair footy. And I think we develop a pretty close community amongst those of us who are involved. And you see I just think we see the whole picture a bit more.
That's right. I think gone are the days where we had the inter-club rivalries where we wouldn't talk to each other or we were against each other. I think most of the clubs are now combined, and we all want to succeed on the field. That's our number one motivating factor of why we exist, but it doesn't mean we can't work together on other things, such as improving the wheelchair football games, the inclusive leagues. Those things are critical for our communities that we operate within. So, I think you're right. It's the environments are very encouraging at the moment.
So, as a CEO of a football club that's in the SANFL, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've identified, not only from a club point of view but from the SANFL point of view?
Yeah, I think obviously for us it is the volunteer base, trying to get the volunteers regularly, because we do tend to use them as much as we can, and it does present timing issues for a lot of volunteers. But probably we've obviously got the dramas with AFL clubs wanting to leave and things like that, which create some issues at the moment. They just create an instability within the league. I mean, we have got the best second league outside, the best league outside of the AFL. Ask the players. In our recruiting each year, and we speak to many players from around Australia, they want to come to the SANFL. So we have a brand in the league that is second to none, and for us, it's just really maintaining the integrity of the brand, which is, we've got eight strong clubs that, football's played at a high level in South Australia, and I think we should be really proud of that and just keep promoting that. But that is a challenge for us.
Yeah, and my thoughts there, David. In terms of just explain the inclusive league, explain the inclusive league to people out there who don't need a bit of information and your role, mate.
Right, so the SANFL APM Inclusive League is based on predominantly it's all male athletes at the moment. So it's male athletes with an intellectual disability on a scale. It's based on a scoring system for the depth of the disability they have. But from there, they play for clubs like Kilburn, Salisbury, Athelston, Goodwood, Christie's Beach, Kenilworth. There's quite a few clubs now that have got it all going. And from there, we pick a state team of 16 players that travel and play in the AFL Inclusive Academy. So they get to go onto a national platform and display their skills. last year we finished second by 4 points, and
Yes.
that was up in Brisbane. And then the year before we actually won the Division 1 grand final. So it was the first time SA had won the final. So, there's some very talented footballers within that cohort. What they do is they essentially go away for a week at a time, and they can play up to, I think it's in the vicinity of 10 games within a week. So it's a very demanding program they undertake, but they do it. They represent the state extremely well.
I think also, though, the whole purpose of the league in that is having people out there involved in sport, the intellectual, challenges and that. And it's also a bit unique that you may be standing your best mate a fair bit and all that. And, I admit I really enjoy the competition and generally the camaraderie between everyone there as well.
Well, no, and that's exactly right. From a club perspective, we've hosted for the past 4 years, as the Eagles, we've hosted the Inclusive League for training sessions or games, their representative games, and that it's what those guys give back to our league players and that. I mean, on the weekend, people would have observed the fact that our guys do the Guard of Honour, but it's what they do inside the change rooms that people don't see is when they're getting around talking to them. That's the sort of we actually take more out of it as a league club than what probably the inclusive blokes do, because all our guys got in early to watch the game. It is a rewarding program, but there's some very talented individuals out there. Nathan Pepper from the Sample does an amazing job at running that league, I think the Sample should be proud of the product they've got there. Yeah,
and to Woodville West Torrens' credit, I think you've probably enveloped and really jumped aboard probably more than anyone else. With Jimmy Tumpus was fantastic, and trying to think Jesse Lonergan, and you've had a few people involved and gone out and take training at various clubs, and so it's a fair bit of you guys really investing and giving as well.
Yeah, that was the purpose of when I took over the role as the senior coach of the state team. It was to try and bring the standard of the state program up a level. So the assistant coaches we've got Jesse Lonergan, who's an assistant coach. We've got Matt Knights, who's now out at Athelston. He's an assistant coach from Woodville West Torrens. We've got Annie Falkenberg, the female captain, who's an assistant coach. So it was about improving the standard of the program, where they were exposed to high performance testing, as though what those young fellas go through and young girls go through in the combine. The Inclusive League get to do that same exact testing, which then just gives them the exposure to a high performance environment. Yeah. And I think from us, that's, when we see how competitive they become in that testing environment, I think that's the reward for us.
And because the wheelchair footy too, hopefully will grow to more sides, but it's developing probably the follow number of people coming out watching, gradually increasing, and the gradual hopeful people are out there. Hey, there's things out there,
I think
get
that's
involved with
awareness,
disability.
awareness as well.
Is gradually increasing.
Yep.
It is, and you're going up. And wheelchair footy's been amazing for our footy club to bring that team in. Has been fantastic, but it's one of those things. It is an awareness. You're going up a well-established sports against basketball, wheelchair basketball, and things like that have been around for many, many years. And we're starting this new concept. But I think the buy-in now from league clubs to see the league players, men and women out there watching and participating in it now is, I really think it's starting to get some solid traction, and we're getting a lot more people registering for it. We've noticed this year as a club, we've got a lot of recruits that want to come to the club now. So we're starting to see the transition from basketball into football, which is, that's probably what the sports need.
Yep. And look, hopefully the SANFL club stick around and it continues to maintain its integrity as the second. I don't think second best is the correct word. It's the second most big comp and recognised as such in the country too, attendance wise and all that as well. That it's something we should be proud of, and I don't think it should be forgotten in that regard. Too, Dave.
I agree. The thing you just mentioned there, the attendance. Like, we've had our first 3 home games. Obviously, we've played have been the highest attended games we've had for many years. So I think the Sample should be really proud, and Darren Chandler and the team of what they've been able to do. Like round 1 for us on Good Friday, over 3,000 people down at Mornteam Kia Oval. That's a high attendance rate for us on a public holiday.
Yep.
On a long weekend. So what we're seeing is, we are seeing the crowd come back now, and I think that's a real credit to the standard of footy that's being played. But also, the promotion of the game. We are seeing a lot of promotion about the sample. So I think, it is one of those things that we should never underestimate the product we've got. It's a fantastic product, and it's loved by a lot of South Australians.
Yep, very much so. Hey, David, good luck. Good luck continuing with the success of Woodville West Torrens at the moment. Obviously, not quite so much luck against the red and blue mob, but yeah. We look forward to catching up again the next couple of weeks, Dave.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for your time, fellas.
And we might touch base with you as the season goes on, if that's all right as well.
No, I look forward to it.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Bye.
See you.